Hello, welcome to the S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity in the shop with this wonderful artiste. And it sounds like there's a train going by, but I guess that can't possibly be the truth, or otherwise it's really off the tracks. But that wouldn't be the first time. Surrounded by this fantastic piece of community art, which was in the flow, which was sponsored by Wessex Water, so I want to say a big thank you to them. Now, this wonderful artiste who is exhibiting at our annual art exhibition, although I think we should do more of them because they're tremendous, and there are fantastic artists in our locality who just blow my mind. It's like such a beautiful, inspiring set of people with some beautiful, inspiring work. Talking of which, Caroline Tomlin.
Yep.
I was going to say Lily,
Hello.
but yeah.
No, not Lily, yeah.
Caroline. You have done some beautiful work. Tell me, how long have you been dabbling, shall we say, in art?
Dabbling, well, a long time ago, because I was at art college many moons ago in my 20s. Then, like most art graduates, you do something completely and utterly different.
Yeah.
You get a proper job. So I actually worked with children, 3 to 5 year olds, as a Montessori teacher for quite a while.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So
That's
it's still
really cool.
creative, because
Of course it is.
Montessori,
It
you're
is,
making
totally.
a lot of materials.
Yeah,
for
it's led by the
kids.
child's inquisitive
That's the
nature,
one,
isn't it?
yeah.
It's interesting, wasn't that, just as an aside, because I'll go back to your art college in a minute. Are you local?
I am now, yeah.
No, but where did you?
I grew up in London, so I went to art school in London.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What part of London?
So West London, I went to Chelsea School of Art.
My God, you must have been really. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was good. Good
Cheers.
Yeah.
Do you actually come from Chelsea or what?
No, North Kensington, sort of
Yeah.
Notting Hill, that sort of area.
Notting Hill,
Ladbroke
yeah.
Grove.
Ladbroke
Yeah.
Grove, I know it well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not been back in years.
No, I haven't been back for a while, but I was mates that used to hang out there, Westbourne
Westbourne
Terrace,
Park,
Westbourne Terrace,
yeah.
yeah.
Loads of Westbournes.
And obviously there's the track of the carnival that goes
Oh
past
yeah,
there.
went to that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic, isn't it? It's a really beautiful thing. Anyway, so you went to college, you think, but you became a Montessori teacher. Now, I mean, it's a great philosophy. I don't know if you know that we have an alternative education program.
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we use the arts, all of them, to in a very comfortable, and as I don't need to tell you how the arts, music included, and obviously anything really, photography, we make films, etc., to allow the individuals a non-intellectual way of exploring or expressing themselves,
Yeah.
and by building significant relationships, it enables us to help and support them by better understanding of the individual, their circumstances. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, it's very much
Absolutely.
individual relationships, and we use whatever art, I remember one classic example is a young person who didn't really want to do anything with the arts, but liked, we do sport as well, all the life things, cooking, growing food if they were interested in that, cooking and life enhancing aspects. But this young person didn't really take to anything artistic for about
Right.
3 years. But towards the end of her time with us, because I guess she felt really comfortable and became very trusting, ended up going into our studio every day and playing the drums and becoming really
Wow.
good. In a really short period of time, it's like,
Yeah.
and she became obsessed with them, which was great. But at the beginning of the relationship, she was just quite a reserved, angry young person who wouldn't think that was
No.
part of her. Now, this is going back to Montessori. It's Elizabeth Montessori. What's her name?
Maria.
Maria. I always get that name mixed up. I don't know why. Maria Montessori. Was she Italian?
Yes.
And was it not formulated? Wasn't the whole process, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, developed for poor children?
It was, yeah, to an extent, but children that were kind of what we would term now as more educational special needs.
Yeah.
So she was creating materials that they could cope with.
Right.
The main thing with Montessori is it's child-led, like you said.
Yeah, but the thing that annoys me about it, nothing about you, is that it actually costs, you pay through the nose to actually access it. which seems mildly, unless I'm wrong about her initial intention. Now, I really realised it was special needs. I thought it was actually.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
It isn't now.
No, of course.
Now,
No, of course not. It's actually the opposite. It's
Yeah.
usually middle class kids, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah. Which, no, you know, I sound like I'm criticising it because I am. No.
well, no, it should be accessible.
There you go.
Absolutely.
That, I mean, as a practice, that should be the state education. Do you not think? As a
Certainly
philosophy.
part of it.
Well,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I mean, listen, I've got great respect for teachers, head teachers, and everything else. I know that their hands are tied. We work with loads of schools. The schools do the best they can, but in reality, our state schools are there to create the workforce. They're not there to create
totally. And
individuals
they're
free thinking.
They're businesses.
100%.
That's what I love about early years, is because you are following the child,
Yeah,
creating a curriculum based
Yeah.
on what they're interested in,
yeah.
and all of that. So early years in this country is actually very, very good.
Yeah, no,
But what
yeah.
happens when they go to school,
Go
they're all
through the-
suddenly
Yeah,
sat at a desk,
One
they're
set.
all expected to be able to follow the same thing,
yeah,
more or less at the same time,
yeah,
and then we wonder why it goes wrong.
yeah.
But I'll get off my soapbox. 'Cause
No, because listen. Here's the thing. So if this is some sort of, and it's, as you can see, it's really casual and it's to be accessible, and anyone could do this because we do it generally on phones. We make feature films. We could use all that equipment. This could be in a studio. This could be kind of like that, but I don't want it to be. So we interview people where they are usually. We'll go anywhere. We've been to lots of different places. We just hold the camera up and do the interviews. But I'm interested in you. So how we've come to know you is you are a fantastic artist. There's no
Thank
doubt
you.
about that. If anyone saw your art, they go, wow, that person is a fantastic artist, which is really important. Your story, how you get there, because I want people to be inspired and to copy that in some sense, not copy your art, but copy the idea that not only are you as an individual exploring art and creating beautiful pieces, you're also inspiring young minds and individuals to be creative, which is fantastic, because not every artist does that.
It's something I could do more of, definitely, because I've kind of left the early years thing
Have you?
behind.
What are you doing now?
I paint, that's what I do.
Wow.
That's what I do.
But you've earned that though, having that space.
Yeah,
in
I
your
mean,
life.
to be honest, I only went back to the artwork about 3-4 years ago, and I moved to Chippenham.
Right. Where did you move from?
I moved from Newbury,
Uh-huh.
but before that I lived in Sweden. So I know-
Sweden?
Yeah.
Wow. No, whereabouts in Sweden?
Stockholm.
Oh yeah, no, I went there to. A mate was launching an album there, which was great. But I also there's a professor there, Carl Henrik Robert, who was the founder of the Natural Step, which was a sustainable development practice that environmentalists and scientists got together to kind of develop within businesses to allow businesses to see why it was in their interest to be more
Right.
sustainable and to look at supply and look at the environment and their impact and everything else. And it's really powerful. And I went to meet him there on ad hoc because I went to see my mates. Great place.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to live.
How long did you? Because they've got a great philosophy around education, haven't they?
Yeah, they're better than us, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Why? Tell
I'll tell you
everyone
why.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
because after we stick kids in school at 5.
Yeah.
So in Sweden they go from like a typical Montessori or nursery
Yeah.
like we would have,
Yeah.
but then they have a special year,
Yeah.
which calls sex, which is like just for 6-year-olds, and it's almost like a transitional year.
Yeah.
So they're still having the free play. I didn't ever work with 6-year-olds. I stopped with 5s.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, this like special year 6 class is like a stepping stone into what comes next.
Well,
So I think that's just nice. Just
Yeah.
softens it, doesn't it?
I think I kind of know that our education system, the time that if the first 3 years in a child's life are the most important in their emotional and intellectual development and bonding with their parent, it seems strange that obviously we have a society that doesn't acknowledge that, doesn't go, listen, whichever parent, I'm not saying it has to be the mother, but nature's kind of designed us in a certain way to do things. Men definitely, as a musician, I was very glad to have now, that look back when I was a musician in London, and I had my first two children. Listen to me, we had the first two children. I got to, because I was rehearsing or playing at gigs in the evening, I got to be able to be with them in their developing years, see them crawl, to take them to the parent and toddler groups, etc., etc., etc. There was never another man there. One, there was an actor who sometimes came, but your traditional male, female, the dads were at work, the mums were left literally holding the baby. But actually, so it's interesting that we have a society that kind of persuades both parents to give up the really key parts of the development to go back to work for industry, for capitalism, when actually their emotional well-being will be better suited being at home. My current wife, I'm not saying that one, another one. That's not good, is it? She's editing this as well. When I say that, I mean, my wife is Croatian, and I'm blessed with some some more children, and in Croatia they don't go to school till they're 7.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? So, and that used to be a socialist country and whatever, but the point is, it's like the focus there isn't like get these kids, get the parents back to work as soon as possible, because that's essentially it. In truth, a lot of the early years provision is essentially a state funded, to a degree, babysitting scenarios so that parents can rejoin the workforce, which is an appalling way to value or devalue the child and the child's development, but also the parent, mainly the mothers. I'm saying mainly the mothers. I'm not saying, oh, that's what it should be. I'm saying mainly the mothers. I think majority of mothers, I don't know about majority, but just say large percentage of mothers. You sitting there go, wait a minute, I'm sure I came to talk about my art. Well, we are talking about your art. We're talking about the world of art. Would prefer to be given the same amount of money that they were earning before they got pregnant, and not necessarily by the company, but by the state, by us collectively. When I say the state, us, to do, which I think is the most important job that you could ever do, is raise your child. And that's not, it has to be, I'm not saying it has to be a woman, but I think if females were given the opportunity to maintain for 3 years that same money, so that they could focus, not feel stressed, there was no stress in the home that they needed to go out and earn, and that the child could develop at a much more bonded way, we'd have a better society. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave it now. So, and I'm saying this because you obviously know, and obviously Montessori is a inspiring type of philosophy around child development. So you don't do any of that now?
No.
Would you like to do more?
I did go back to it briefly, actually. I mean, basically, I did the childcare for about 14, 15 years. Then had back issues. So my body gave out, basically. And I went to work in the NHS for a bit, just like admin.
Wow.
Which is what I was doing when I moved here. And then I thought, it was stressful moving town. There was, it's just a stressful period of time, changing job, blah blah blah. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give myself a month off. And I started painting.
Wow. And
my son and my partner working from home at the time. And I thought, well, I'll have that conservatory. I'll work in there. I can make a mess. It doesn't matter. And 1 month turns into a few more and a few more, and 4 years down the line.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm not making a living from it. Don't get me wrong. I'm eating, saving stuff right and centre, but it's a much better way to live.
It is, no,
100%.
100%. But if you're in a supportive relationship where hopefully your husband supports you doing it, because I mean, it's not as if you'd be looking. Not, art's a strange thing, isn't it? Because it's in the eye of the beholder. Whether someone likes a piece of art. I just think yours is mildly, it's not, it's beautifully detailed, but it also has a flair of individualism. It's not just, those owls aren't just, there's 2 owls, there's 2 barn owls, or or whatever, there you go, look exactly like, well, they do, but they also have that flair of, there's something abstract about it.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's the aim.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean,
when I went back to doing art, I mean, really, I was more of a textile artist at
really?
college. Yeah.
Wow.
So for me, with painting, it's still about texture. It's always about texture.
Yeah.
Texture and light.
Yeah.
They're the 2 things that are kind of common in everything I do. Because my work falls into 2 kind of themes now. It's either birds and animals or Titanic.
The Titanic?
Yeah, so they're completely opposite. But my great-great-uncle drowned on the Titanic.
Oh my Lord, really?
So I started looking into his history simply because his name is identical to my own dad's.
Yeah.
And I saw this tombstone.
Oh my Lord,
that's my dad's name, right?
Yeah.
Well, hang on a second. What's this about? Oh yeah, I'm named after him. He drowns on the Titanic.
Oh my good Lord.
So that's always been with me.
Yeah.
And getting back into the arts, I thought, oh, do you know what? I can't have this niggling. I need to do something about him.
Yeah.
So sort of going into his history and discovering, he was a student. So he was a student in Des Moines. So he was travelling back actually for his 3rd year.
What?
And didn't get there.
Oh my God! What was he studying? Just as
He was one of these super clever A grade students, but he was going into the ministry following graduation. So he was like, I think he was at the Bible College at Drake University.
Right.
But going through all these documents and stuff, I discovered that he loved art. And on his last trip over, he had gone to all these different museums and galleries and had asked the dean of the college for permission to purchase prints and things to make an art gallery at the uni.
What?
So I'm like, right. So
that is immense.
I've done 13 paintings based on Titanic.
God, I'd love to do an exhibition of them here.
I've got an exhibition in April.
Where?
In Caution. Caution Gallery.
That's great. That's a great place.
So,
well, maybe we could do one here.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? That whole wall, would that be enough room?
Yeah, I'll have to paint a few more.
No,
I don't paint that large, and the biggest one in that is 50 by 50.
No, I love the Caution Gallery, support it, but what obviously this has evolved really. We've been going 4 years. It's evolved out of empty, dead spaces in shopping centres, and us being an arts organisation that work with the community. So actually, it's developed by the people that use the space, because we do workshops, as you're probably aware. We do music, we do poetry, we do art for mental health, well-being, etc., etc. And then there's all these fantastic, that come out the woodworks, like, hey, either can I exhibit here, can I just put some paintings in the window, whatever it is, or actually I want to volunteer, and they volunteer and put their stuff up. And so you basically have times, and I've been there many times, where I've seen people looking at the pieces and obviously studying them and going, well, actually that artist is sitting there, and I'm going, actually that's the person that did that. You don't really, unless you get invited to the launch of an exhibition, you very rarely meet the artist.
That's true.
So actually I knew from being inspired many years ago, I was at Sheldon in the 6th form doing life drawing after school with the wonderful Sophie Tilson, who was daughter of Joe Tilson, who is a probably Chelsea Art School actually, but famous pop artist from that time, from the time of pop art. And we happened to have a print in our art room, and Sophie went to Hardnewish, I went to Sheldon, but we used to do this after school life drawing class. We got to know each other, and then she started doing drama down at Sheldon, because they didn't do it at 6th form in Hardnewish. And then she invited me back to her home one evening, and I got to meet her dad. This place was like totally alien to me was old vicarage, massive walls with humongous pieces of his art, amazing, beautiful art. And he happened to be in his studio. I was just, my mind was blown. I was like, wow. And he said, this is my dad. And I was like, wow. And I said, oh, actually, Mr. Tilson, we've got a piece of your art, well, a print, not obviously a signed, in our school called Geometry. He went, yes. I remember what inspired that. I could not believe it. And he said, because they had a home in Italy, he said, these books were about to be thrown into a furnace or whatever, right. And I rescued them. And then he opened the book and he showed, and he said, and this is what inspired that art. And I was like, my God. When I went back to school the next day and saw my art teacher and said, met Joe Tilson and blah, that piece, it really stuck with me. That's why I love this. I love the idea. So anytime I can, I introduce the what do you call someone who's looking purveyor? What do you call them? Viewer. We'll call them viewers. Hello, viewers of art to the artist, because there's another element. That's why I love interviewing the artists as well. There's always something that not because I want to I want to make it more accessible. It's part of my mission when I set up Can Do.
More accessible.
Yeah, I want it to be. I don't want it to be highbrow and
it has that kind of element.
Yeah.
I mean, even as an artist, I walk into the gallery to sort of browse, and you get the sort of, oh, are you interested in anything? You know, I'm just looking, so bugger off.
Yeah.
You know, you do. You get that kind of hoity-toity.
Yes, and it's not like everywhere, but it's. And because I'm, working class kiddie, and part of the idea of Can Do Arts was to make art accessible. This is, again, sort of 26 years now, but this being in a shopping centre is an ideal for me. After all these years, I want people just to stumble across amazing art, and it's exactly what they do. And thanks to people like Lauren who run it. It's there, and they're great volunteers. So do you think just going to, not just, I said it as if it was a bad thing, but going to pursue your art from now on and just do that? Do you do workshops?
I don't, because I don't know what I would do for a workshop.
Yeah.
It's definitely something, again, a bit like the Titanic thing, sort of needling away in the background. It's I know I need to do that at some point.
You're part of that Chippenham Creatives?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, that's nice.
You'll meet at the social.
I'm bad. I must admit, I've only been once, but it's not like I went and thought, oh, what's it? It's because it's in the evening and it's winter. I was like, oh, I'm on the sofa now. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something I will be.
Yeah, I love the idea that you could obviously do your own bit of work, but they also share different techniques with each other. That's really important.
But when I went at the time, Caroline, who you interviewed, she was doing sort of little lino cut thingy in the corner.
Amazing thing.
And somebody else is doing some
needle felting.
That's the one.
Magda.
Yeah.
Have you seen her work?
Yeah, because that really confused me. Because I came here and like, she paints. It's just the needle felt lady.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 100%. Absolutely. We're lucky enough to have seen loads of her stuff, and it's kind of like, this is amazing stuff, Magda. And she's kind of, well. And then the needle stuff, I've bought needle stuff work for that she's done for my children, because it's gorgeous, but it's kind of like, and it's great in itself. And if you're just a needle felt artist, good luck to you. Yeah. But the fact that she paints so well is kind of a major thing. I
love how she's curated that section that I'm in.
All water.
It's just all
water and
blue, and it just flows.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah, she's good, isn't she? Yeah.
Because a lot of these sort of group exhibitions, you go in and sort of hunt for your piece, and you can be right up there, you can be right down the skirting board. It's overhung. But this isn't.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I totally in awe of it all. Actually, I love it. So maybe in the future we can think about a Titanic themed.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
There'll be no end to that. either.
No, I understand it. Isn't that the nature of art though? Because it's an emotional sort of cathartic experience that you're making that connection emotionally.
It took me a long time to kind of work out what it is I want to do as an artist. Yeah. Because I sort of started doing a bit of abstract stuff, and I thought, I want to do more figurative, but I want to do it in an abstract sort of way. So it took a long time. And I'm still sort of experimenting, but I'm so glad when you said it's like highly detailed. You can see it's a bar now, but there's an abstract element.
Oh yeah, which we'll show it. But if you're anywhere near this area of Chippenham, come into the wonderful Emery Gate, into our shop and see it for yourselves. But we'll put some stuff up on this, whatever you want us to put up. But the owls definitely, just because we've been talking about them, and I look forward to this Titanic exhibition.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah?
I was really happy
You're a
to get
star.
into that.
Nice one, you.
Nice to meet you.
No, lovely to meet you. That's a wrap.